All right. It's another bee day. It's a colder day than normal. So they're probably not going to want me in here. Last couple of weeks, I've had some issues with ants up here in my sugar water feeder. Yeah, looky there. Top came right off. Oh. Here, I'll tip it over. You can see how many. Oh, we're stuck big time. Here, you can see how many dead ants are in the bottom there. I've got some bees inside and outside here too. Just go ahead and set them here. Oh yeah, some big ants up here. So I've got, golly, they're big. A few ant mitigation things. Basically, it's like a bowl you can stick your hive up on top of, and it'll keep any of the ants. They won't be able to get on it because you put water in the bowl. Just looking up here, making sure I don't see my queen, and I don't. Alright. I also need to see if it makes sense to, they're actually pretty docile. I'm just going to leave them be without the smoke. Expecting them to be a little bit more rowdy. Alright, we're going to pull up our last frame. Looks like they still hadn't done anything on this one yet, which is fine. They usually start in the middle and work their way out. And then the general advice, let me put this on the outside here. General advice is once they've got 5 to 7 frames built out that they're on and actively working on, then you want to probably go ahead and add a box up on top. Don't need to take this one out. Then move it off. Back. Take this food. Put it right over here. All right, this one looks empty. I'll try to work quickly, just because I know it's cold. This one's fun. Yeah, that's a heavy frame right there. So there's not really anything on the back side. They're just beginning to pull it out. But you can see in there they've got nectar and pollen. This one looks like just a resource frame. Just nectars and pollens on here. I'll bring that in a little bit. Nectar and pollen all up on there. In the back side, nothing, but they're working on building some frames up in that top corner. That's awesome. Good on you, girls. All right. Got a couple of bees that are getting angry at me, and that could just be because I walked over top of that top cover. Just gonna smoke on them real quick. All that does is just calm them down a little bit. Those two are wedged together, so I'm going to get my hive tool. I'm breaking those apart very gently. Yeah. Awesome. That's great. So we're looking at cap brood here, as well as pollen, some other resources, and then the back end here is, try to take a wide step around. This back end here, we're looking at basically all of that's cap brood. And if you see those holes, a brood is the eggs after they've developed into larvae. and they've grown up a little bit, cap them over, then you get bees. They'll pop out of it. So if you saw those holes on there, that's where some bees have already come out. So they're just now part of the colony. Push these two frames together. Got to move real slow because there's bees on them. If you didn't know that. Oh, that's a heavy one. Got more brood. So that's 1, 2, 3. 3 full frames here. I'm going slow. I don't see any. I do see some larvae. I haven't really seen any eggs though. Which is fine. She just might not have room to be putting eggs in. It's really important to see eggs. Because that means that your queen is laying. So even if you can't find your queen, if you can find some eggs, then you know your queen's there and she's doing a good job. One, two, that's 3 full frames. Oh, these two are stuck together. There we go. There's some eggs on this one here. She could be on this frame. Oh yeah, there we go. There's lots of eggs on this side. I'd bring the eggs over to the camera, but they are really, really hard to see. So it's not really gonna be much help. So they're about 4 frames fully built out. Got some nectar stores on here. And back to empty. They got about 4 frames fully built out, so it's not time to add another box up on top yet. We're empty over here. Let's move everybody over. Oh, shoot. I dropped my pollen patty here. Oh, that one's getting wedged in there. That could make a mess. They really do need more pollen patty because this one's basically eaten through. They haven't done this one quite as much, but I'll go cut them off some more. Everybody over. Cannot get this last bee off. So I haven't had any sugar water in here in the last few days just because the ants were getting into it so bad. I started feeding them out of the front of the hive, sugar water. Um, I'm going to clean that up and then I'll refill it for them. I do need... I'm going to leave that piece right there in the middle. They keep rebuilding it. I guess it makes it easier for them to get into the hive. Grab my bee brush. Just try to get everybody back into the hive. Then once I'm clear, I can get this wax off. All right. Gonna leave them here just a minute, then I'm gonna come back out. With this cleaned up a little bit. All right. Put this back on here so we're directly above them. They can crawl on back up. Some sugar water here. You know what? I'm putting the cart before the horse. Let me switch this up real quick. What I'm going to do, because I got to get these buckets on there, that needs to be cleaned up too. I'm just going to put my lid on it here. All right, now you can see it a little better. This is a feeder I put in here. Hello. Oh, she didn't like me doing that. Let me go slower. This is a feeder I put in here that I thought the bees would better be able to defend. If you look, they're already out of it too. But this one's neat. It just it connects to a soda bottle. So you put your sugar water in there. You're supposed to drink your own sugar, your own sugar water, known as Dr. Pepper, first, and then you can fill it up with just regular sugar water for the bees. Screw on that fancy dispenser there, and it'll just slowly trickle out for them. So these are really neat. Let me model off my new goodies to the camera. They actually just arrived in the mail today. It's a little cup here. Put your water inside and a top on it like this, and the hive sits on top of it. So as the ants crawl up, they can't go from here to here without going in it first, and they're going to have to get to water, which ants don't swim super good. So that makes it a lot harder for them. Now, what's fun for me is I get to lift up my whole hive to put these under it. I don't really want to do that. So I'm going to lift it up on this side. Oh gosh, it's heavy. Got some big ants hanging out under here. Your free ride is over. All right. There we go. That's the first one. this one on the other side. I'm also like absolutely terrified of just dropping this whole thing and having 2,000 ants, not ants, but 2,000 bees covering me. All right, that one's good. Halfway done. Try to scoot the whole thing forward a little bit more. Oh gosh. If my mic's working well, y'all probably just hear me breathing super loud. Alright, I think that's going to do it for me. This one's not touching, which is bad, but let's see if I can fix it. This is the part where I try not to show my hind end to the camera. Alright, let me put this in here. Oh, and this is the side that my bees are hanging out on. Oh yeah, big ants just making a whole nest under here. Yeah, get out of here. I think I did it. And look, no stings. One of my worries is that we're too far back over here. You know, I might need to scoot. This, I might have said no stings too quick. I hadn't been stung, but I ain't done adjusting it. I don't know if y'all see that bee hanging out right on top of it. That's the one I was just about to move. There, darling. Don't sting me. All right. Only touching on 3 of the 4 ends is making me nervous, but I've got it here for when the time comes. Got my kettle. Now this is not full of boiling water. This is full of normal, not boiling water. You know, if anybody saw me, I'd look crazy. Like, who is that guy over there watering his bees? Yeah, sometimes you just got to water your bees. You're happier and healthier that way. All right. All right, now that we've got them adjusted, let me check, make sure I didn't have anybody on the lid. I've got a hitchhiker on the lid. Put her over here then. Now we got everything adjusted. See, if I'd have done that with all this sugar water up here splashing around, I mean, it would have been okay, but that's not the smartest way to do things. Now we've got that. Really am just about to leave that open. I gotta go wash this. It's covered in, what do you know, dead ants. This piece here is really neat. So this goes over top of the sugar feeder here. So they can crawl up and over that ledge there, but they can't like just have free range of the whole box. They've got to stay underneath this lid. And then there's holes in the bottom of it so that the sugar water can still get into them. And now, hopefully, there'll be no more ants. I think my smoker went out, which is fine because I'm done. So really didn't even need the smoker. You know what? It'll make way more sense if I put this together correctly. Let's go top there. Around the outside. So that should work really well for us. I'm also going to, while we're here, I'm going to just check out my screen bottom board insert. Yikes. And this thing is covered with ants. So this is, here, I'm just going to kind of show it. This is all pollen scraps and egg casings and everything else. And you can see that there's some ants on there just having a field day. But this is everything that falls out of the hive. So we're just going to take that. Kind of brush it off. But one thing that's good is I don't see any mites on it, so that's good. Not to say they don't have any, but I don't have any that I see. Slide that in the bottom if you can't see me, but it goes underneath. Oh yeah, look, whole thing slid sideways. It's all right though. Well, that's everything. I don't know why you watch, but thanks for watching.